Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, depending on whenever you are listening to this podcast. This is Caged In, and I'm back to talk about G-Force, and I was joined by the lovely Das Film Haus. They're a German-based podcast. They speak in English, don't worry guys if you want to listen to them. They're great. They just discuss films and check them out. Yeah, you can find them on all your podcatchers. They explain all of that at the end of the episode. But I just wanted to say a little bit up front, we need to get into that little old thing with the old anagrams, don't we? My old good friend at Thomas_W_Hunter on Twitter. I'm going to do something a little different this week, though. I'm going to give you a little quiz. I'm going to give you some anagrams at the beginning, and you come back at the end, and I will tell you the answers to those anagrams. If you can work them out beforehand, give yourself a good pat on the back because you deserve it. You're a lot smarter than I am because I am terrible with anagrams unless it is Neo. I know that one spells out one. Bloody hell. But, so, here are the anagrams for today. And yeah, let's see if you can work them out in the duration of this episode. So, they are 4 cast members, but here's a little quiz. So, number 1, we have Mr. K. Coleslaw. Number 2, Taller Twin. Number 3, Mangy Carrot. And number 4, I see MTV Ice Cubes. And that is what you have to go by. Let's see if by the end of the episode you get them. And another little anagram that I'm not going to leave till the end because I'm a nice guy and give you a little anagram treat. And this is not some kind of ploy just to get you to listen to the whole episode. You feel free to just skip forward and listen to the end if you don't give a fuck about anything that is being said in this podcast. This is heavily edited as well, this podcast, because it was done over Skype and there was a few technical issues. Those guys didn't have headphones on, so you could hear me a lot of the time when they were in their record on their end. I'm actually they don't know this yet, but I'm going to treat them to a headphone splitter, so if we do this again, it will be a lot simpler for me to edit. But that is boring and stuff that you don't want to know about. But yeah, bear with us with the audio quality. Back to the anagram at hand. The tagline for this film is, "The world needs bigger heroes." That equals terrible hedgehogs. We snorted. And maybe Nick Cage snorted up some big old cocaine before he signed on for this film, or he was caught with a load of cocaine and Jerry Bruckheimer knew about it and blackmailed him into making this film. Let's get into it and get raging with Cage. So, I am back again, guys, for another dollop of tasty Caged In. And this week, we are talking about G-Force, a film in which a crack team of guinea pigs and one crafty mole take down some bad guys. But I'm not alone. I am joined by Josh and Michael of Das Film Haus. How are you today, guys?
Hey, we're great. How are you?
I am, as always, kind of a bit perturbed because it's another week and I've had to watch another Nicolas Cage film and I feel like it is never ending, so I don't know.
Yeah, I understand the struggle.
So what had you guys watched this film before I made you watch it for this podcast?
We actually we sat down just right before we started recording with you. We sat down and watched the whole movie, and I went into it like you always do, completely blind. I knew nothing. I knew Nick Cage is in it, of course, but I didn't look up any info beforehand.
How long did it take you to figure out who Nick Cage was playing? Did you know, or
Oh well, I cheated. I looked it up.
Sadly, Michael looked it up.
I didn't get the memo that I wasn't supposed to look anything up about the film, so I looked it up because I was curious.
Yeah,
But how long did you take? You knew nothing, right?
Well, this is something that may surprise you guys and a lot of listeners at home. This is the one Nicolas Cage film or in my memory that I've actually seen at the cinema. I am both shocked and appalled at myself that there is obviously some great films out there, and the one I have seen is where he plays a mole.
Was it a conscious choice, or were you forced to watch it?
I feel like a girl may have been involved. So
yeah, that's a lame excuse. No. I feel like that was a conscious choice. You looked at the poster and was like, damn, I'm gonna watch that one. That looks amazing.
Well, let's talk about the cast list. If you look at that cast list, you'd think, hey, that could be pretty decent. Like, so who have we got in there? We got what? Zach Galifianakis, obviously riding high off of The Hangover by this time. What is it? 2009. Penelope Cruz, Tracy Morgan, Will Arnett, Bill Nighy, Jon Favreau, obviously Nick Cage, Sam Rockwell. That's like a decent cast, right?
Yeah, it's a crazy cast, and then also as a little bit more than a cameo is then what's his name now? I hate when I can't think of the names, but
Steve Buscemi.
Yeah, it's exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And then like you have Loudon Wainwright III, who obviously like is like a singer. Who plays just the old guy in the pet store, you know, who's like his fucking evil grandkids.
Oh yeah.
Like come in to get guinea pigs. Yeah, he's like some accomplished like singer-songwriter, and it's like what does the director have on all these people that he's put them in this, like, I don't know. I've got a lot of problems with this film. I don't know about you guys, but like it's like I watched this last night and 5 minutes later I had like zero recollection of what really happened. Like all I had was rage building.
Well, yeah.
I think
it's kind of the same with me, really, because we've just watched it, right? We've just finished like 30 minutes ago or so, and I find it really hard to recollect what was going on in that film. Like there was like some guinea pigs who were like super spies who were actually in fact not genetically engineered, and then we had Nick Cage. Do we spoil here? Or is that?
Yeah, we spoil the fuck out of it. Like,
all right.
If it's been 8 years. Like, yeah, like, yeah, fuck it. If you haven't seen this film, we're doing you a favour by telling you what the fuck happened.
Then we have Nick Cage gone motherfucking bad, and that. Oh, am I allowed to swear? Because we're Germans, we usually swear.
Yeah, you can swear all the much you fucking want to.
No holds barred.
Yeah. I actually got told by like someone that this podcast, like, I don't know, has too much swearing, and that might be true.
What the fuck is wrong with that guy? Seriously, fucking stupid argument. No, but seriously, like we got Nick Cage gone bad in that role. Like he is. At first you're thinking like, oh wait, that's the cool techie guy, he knows the stuff around his computers, and then suddenly, bam, twist, he's the bad guy behind it all. He is the killer machine. Like at least he controls the killer machines, right? And that's about it.
The thing with him is his voice just reminds me of Butters from South Park.
Yeah, true.
Like whenever he does like Professor Chaos, it just reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Like the kind and like I'm not sure if you guys have ever seen Peggy Sue Got Married, but he has a similar voice in that film as well, which is very bizarre because in that he's supposed to be like 1950s like cool guy, and he's got this fucking pathetic whiny mole-like voice.
It sounded like he's just like holding his nose shut, so it sounds a bit more nasal.
Yeah, so Josh said he was imagining Nick Cage just sitting there like holding his nose shut, so he sounds like very nice, just like sitting there the entire time while recording like this, and that's a pretty funny picture.
But I would say the one thing I enjoyed about it was like his like vocal performance and Jon Favreau's, because everyone else, their vocal delivery as like their animated characters just sounded like them. So like Sam Rockwell sounded like Sam Rockwell, and Penelope Cruz, like her whole character, I've got a problem with.
Yeah, it's
like,
basically just Penelope Cruz.
Well, no, just the sexualization of a guinea pig for one. I thought was very bizarre.
Yeah, also her character doesn't even make any sense at all. It's just so stereotypically, yeah, she's a woman, so a man cannot possibly understand what she's on about, right? There's no possible way.
Yeah, and like the kind of weird like love triangle they're trying to create, like this is supposed to be for kids, right? Like it just felt like all the jokes were aimed at the parents, and like there was references to films that only parents would get, and like I don't know, even the internal like logic of the characters. There is a joke that Penelope Cruz's character makes about like, I don't know, like trying to get something that fits me off the rack, like that's the main problem, and then has like a problem with being put in a dress by a little girl. It's like, you've just alluded to you want to buy clothes off of the rack, and like you're a guinea pig, so you couldn't buy clothes off the rack. I just don't fucking get it.
Yeah,
honestly, I've never invested so much thought in the daily life of a guinea pig picking up clothes. But now that you mention it, that's actually a very, very considerable problem. You know?
Well, it's just the internal logic of this film. Like, and like another moment I really enjoyed. I'm not sure about you guys, but like how when should we like at least talk about like the broad strokes of what happens in this film? Maybe you guys can do a better job than me, because as I said, like I've got a few details here and there, but mainly I can't remember a single fucking thing.
So, maybe you begin, because you made notes actually.
Well, I haven't made any notes about the story, but still, so it starts off with these hamsters and guinea pigs entering into this big conference, I think, that this tech mogul is holding. It reminded me very much of Kingsman, where he's like, he wants to sell this little chip implant that makes people go crazy. And this guy also talks about his super new technology that will help them, I don't know, work better with their...
I don't know. That's the point, really. Because there's no motivation. Why do you benefit from coffee machines talking to each other?
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, that's so amazing. What's the coffee machine going to do with it? Know what your neighbor is cooking?
There's kind of a forward-thinking... There's a forward-thinking part of it, because it says, like, it will know when your coffee's running low to, like, put that on your shopping list, which is kind of like...
Yeah, sure, but why does your machine need to know if your neighbor's machine is running low on coffee?
Yeah, that is true. That is very true. Yeah. I don't know. The whole... as soon as they set up the whole, like, all the machines are talking to each other, it's like, well, that's just going to go terribly wrong, isn't it? Like,
yeah. And yeah, so they're attacking this place, and it's all that's where the characters are introduced, right? And we see I don't remember any of the names, but yeah, we see lots of little guinea pigs attacking with their crazy technology, and then they are going back to Sekalefinekis.
Wait, can you recall the names? Because I can only recall Darwin, which is the main guy.
Yeah, Darwin is the main guy.
I want to say that Penelope Cruz is called like Juarez, as a stereotype. I think that is.
Yeah, that's right.
Juarez
that's
and like Blaster. I've no idea. Like, I don't.
Yeah, Blaster sounds right. Something. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was Nick Cage again?
Isn't he Mooch or something?
Speckles.
No, Mooch is the fly.
Ah, okay.
Speckles is the name of...
yeah, right.
Of course.
Speckles.
Yeah.
And
so...
a little fact I did learn is mooch, is close to the French word for fly. So that's why they're called mooch. So,
yeah.
Okay.
That's okay.
Yeah, well, we actually don't know French. Like, it's 20 kilometers away, but we don't know that stuff.
Yeah. So
I just looked on IMDb trivia.
And so on the IMDb trivia, what I found out is that this movie has the same production history as monster trucks. As in, the 5-year-old kid of the director said, "Hey, this would be a great idea," and the director said, "Yes."
See, yeah, this is the problem I have with this film, is when your kid like does a cute little drawing or a cute little story, you get a fridge magnet and put that on the fucking fridge.
Yeah.
You don't pump $150 million fucking dollars
What?
and put it on the silver screen for people to watch.
Really, it's $150 million.
$150 million was pumped into this just because it's like I don't even, the director, I've never heard this name before and never want to hear of his name again.
And you never heard of him again, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know anything about the writers of this film? It's written by the Wibberleys. Have you ever heard of the Wibberleys?
No, never heard of
No
them.
idea.
What do you know of the Wibberleys?
Never heard of them at all.
Never heard of them. They wrote the National Treasure films, also to star Nicolas Cage, which are darn fun, if you ask me, as someone who has watched them very recently.
That's the one where
very
he
much-
steals the Declaration of Independence, right?
Yeah, and then he kidnaps the president of the USA, which I wish somebody would do right now. So maybe after recording this, as scary Europeans, we can work a way to actually make that happen. If you guys are up for it, you've got the Hans Gruber vibes. I've got the bad guy in the second one. Is he English in Die Hard 2?
I've actually never seen Die Hard 2.
No idea. Fun fact about Die Hard: in the German version of Die Hard, the villain actually is not German.
Oh, amazing! What is it? Is he English?
He's American.
Yeah.
Wow,
He's not called Hans Gruber, he's called Jack Gruber.
that's amazing. That is fantastic.
I feel it wouldn't sell well in Germany if the villain was German. Well, it turns out, from the downfall, it actually sells pretty well if the villain is German.
Yeah, that's a very specific German villain, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why we
Right.
don't do the kidnapping, you know, because we have like this bad association when we do something on an international stage where it's like something bad. No, it's always the damn Germs. We don't do this. Maybe you can do this. But I looked something up about the director. He did the visual effects for the Cronenberg Fly, then for Armageddon, for The Abyss, and for The Blob.
Wow.
So
And
he's
this was his only film that he ever directed, right? So he only did visual effects. And I can say, without lying too much, that the film didn't look that bad, right? G-Force didn't look too ugly.
No. On a visual effects basis, yeah. Like, and I think this was like Jerry Bruckheimer, obviously the producer, like his first foray into 3D film. So this was like I remember adorning the 3D glasses to watch this on my date. So yeah.
So were these the colored 3D glasses, or were these the new 3D that was brought
the
with Avatar?
new ones. Yeah, it's not that old. Yeah.
So it was a date. Just let me quickly ask: Did the date went well? Did the date go well after this film?
I don't think so. I don't even remember if it. No, I don't think it did. No, it must not have done. If I could neither remember who it was or the fact that I'd actually watched this film, so I think it went terribly.
Yeah, it would have taken a miracle to work well after that.
That is another podcast. That's another podcast all on its own about my failed
with
love
Nick
life.
Cage films.
Yeah, one thing I like back to like jokes that are mainly aimed at adults. Like even you were saying about being at the like tech conference and this guy talking about his like thingies rolling out, but they find out like the code name for like the evil virus he's sending is called Cluster Storm, which just sounds like it's a very thinly veiled thing for clusterfuck.
Yeah.
Did you pick up on that? Like, it's just, and it's a massive wink to the parents, and like, I don't know. And what other moments are there? There's
we get I love the smell of napalm in the morning, which
Yeah, and we get the one that infuriated me, like genuinely wanted me to actually go out and kill any guinea pig I could find, was "This is my little friend, say hello." So
Yeah.
not only are you doing a reference to like a great film that the children are not going to fucking understand, and if they do, their parents are terrible, is that you're doing it wrong. It's just so. Ugh.
I don't know. I don't think it's so bad if you include some of these references, because a lot of the audience will be parents that go into the theater to see it with their kids, and you need to entertain the parents as well. Because if you only do a straight out kids film and nothing for the parents, it's very boring for them. So it's not at all completely wrong to have some references that only the adults will get, right?
I hear that point, but then I always think to films like Pixar, for instance, like they just do universal stories that work on like a universal basis. There is no like the jokes in this that are aimed at the parents seem like almost like grotesquely like. Do you know what I mean? Like they're not.
Yeah, it's
if they were more universal jokes, like they have so much to go with, like slapstick and so much other stuff, instead of doing cultural references to films that only parents. It's just I think it's quite a cheap way of making.
This is kind of like the jump scare, right? Where it's just like they just bring it in to for minimal work for maximum effect. They do this quote that it's like a slapstick comedy. It's like it doesn't need to be much work done there. It's the jump scare works best, I think, when something you just have to slap something in the room really quick and people will be scared. And the same here, you get a reaction by this cheap quote, and
it's kind of like, you see, we know Scarface, and we know Die Hard,
and there's the whole,
and then you wink into the camera.
Yeah, there is the Die Hard reference as well, isn't there? There's like, is it a yippee-ki-yay or something like that? Like yippee-ki-yay.
Yeah, yippee-ki-yay, and then something I didn't fully understand what he said there. I'm
pretty sure he didn't say motherfucker.
Yeah,
no, he probably said
that would be awesome.
I know, like the jokes for kids, all that there really is the fact that like I watched this with my girlfriend, and she said like this would probably appeal to her 8-year-old self because she was really into guinea pigs. But then much past that, there's not much else apart from maybe like a couple of fart gags, which again, like I laughed at, but that's because I maybe have the mental age of about 8. But like, I was just like looking at it going, there is nothing really here for kids past the cute factor, really. There's not like, I don't know, the moral lessons.
That's actually true. I haven't even thought about that.
I thought about that actually, and one of the moral lessons there is like they're not genetically altered. They're not like the super race of guinea pigs, that are far superior than everything. So no supremacy in there. But then they found out that other guinea pig might actually be the brother of like Darwin. Does it turn out to be his brother? I don't actually know. But there is a chance that it's his brother, right? And at first he refuses to acknowledge that might be the possibility. And then later on he comes to accept the fact that he's no better than the other guinea pigs. So maybe that's a moral lesson to be learned. Even if you're better at something than others, it doesn't mean that you're truly like superior to them.
Yeah, but like I don't know. I don't think like. Oh, I probably could.
But maybe that's just pulling something out of my ass.
No.
Honestly,
it's in there. It's definitely in there. But it's just that it doesn't. I don't know. It doesn't dwell on.
As you can see, Michael really loved this movie.
Yeah. He's really like swinging for it. But like bits I did enjoy, like with references and stuff like that. The ones that I found were great were the every time Speckles, like when the like FBI agents were coming in to close down the like lab that Zach Galifianakis had. He says like not the cage, I don't do cages, which for me was great because I was like, obviously I know that's Nicolas Cage saying that, and every time there was a mention of a cage, he's the one who says it, and I just thought like I don't know. I felt that joke was in there just for me.
Yeah, probably was. And also that whole part of them closing the lab down was also like, okay, so you engineered these hamsters, you made all this equipment, they can actually talk to us, which also means they're as smart as humans, they just can't talk well. And okay, that's all shit, we're closing it down and killing them all.
Yeah, well, it's really crazy, and there's something about that as well, is that Will Arnett's character, as much as he like closes it down, he is kind of like he's in two minds, because he goes to his superiors like, maybe we should look into this, what's his name, Saber.
Yeah,
we should look into him maybe and just go and have a look anyway, just in case he is up to some shady shit. But at the end of the film, Will Arnett is sent to like the fucking North Pole as punishment.
Yeah.
But he was essentially trying to do a good thing at least.
Yeah.
Why isn't the guy who looks like
Josh Brolin, yeah.
like old Josh Brolin? Yeah. Why wasn't he sent to the fucking North Pole?
Yeah, he
and does he die? In that kind of like firework display car crash.
Yeah, he's never seen after that, right?
Yeah, and that is another that.
So he probably dies. Yeah,
that's another confusing scene as well, because like, can you see fireworks in the day? Like, that is something like that really bugged me, and I feel like if I'm taken out of the film for that long, maybe I don't really care about the film.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if you can see fireworks during the day. Can you?
I don't think you can. I feel like I haven't yet Googled it. I'm not going to, because that would make for terrible podcasting. A man Googling whether you can see fireworks during the day.
You should just try it and post it on Instagram.
I will do. Yeah. So look out for the next week for me lighting fireworks in the midday sun.
Maybe give Adam Savage a call or Michael Stevens, just say, can you see fireworks during the day? Let's find out. And then it's like Mythbusters all over. You can't see fireworks during the day. Then you have one episode of Mythbusters.
Yeah, well, there's that thing as well, is that everyone is that, like, there's like a crowd. Obviously, like, in this crazy fucking world they live in, you can see fireworks during the day because everyone's there ready for the display, right?
Yeah. Or maybe that was the test. They wanted to find out if it's possible.
Yeah, maybe that was the occasion, because we don't really know the occasion. Why was there even fireworks? Why were there people?
I just think they think like little kids see bright lights and go, ooh, ah.
Probably.
It'll be fun. Like we've got guinea pigs and we've got some bright lights. We've got like some sexy guinea pigs for the dads, and we got a love triangle for the mums.
I gotta interrupt you right here, because that was one thing that annoyed the fuck out of me when we get in the first scene that we get introduced to the guinea pigs, right, during their first like special mission, and they're on the roof, and then you see like Blaster and Juarez, right, and she takes off her headgear and walks towards Blaster, and her like super exaggerated hip movements and everything. I was like, damn, that guinea pig is like, I don't know, is she a stripper or what? Like, that's some kind of weird shit for kids to see, you know?
Well, yeah, and obviously that subplot of like who does she fancy? Like nobody fucking cares. The guinea pigs. Like I do not care for that subplot. I don't. They're guinea pigs. They probably have a very short like lifespan. Probably why this never got a sequel, because
they all died.
They would all die. Yeah. Like, I wanted more of Steve Buscemi's character. I thought he was like, I was again thinking, what does the director or Jerry Bruckheimer have on him for him to be in this? Like, it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, that character was great, though.
Yeah, we actually thought that he might be the bad guy before it turned out to be Nick Cage. That was actually, we gotta say, I didn't expect Nick Cage to be the bad guy in the end.
Yeah, that is kind of neat, isn't it? Like his reveal, but like let's talk about his reasoning though for being a bad guy. Like it's pretty dark, really, right?
But that was so superficial, though. Oh yeah, you killed my parents, so I'm gonna kill you all.
Yeah, but it's kind of like about the treatment of just moles in general. Like his like there's that kind of line he says about like if you Google moles, there's 300 entries on how to kill them, none to how to look after them, how to love them, and it's just like it's quite harrowing. Like
Yeah, that's actually true. Yeah.
and like how big are moles as well? Because in the world that this film is set in, they're smaller than a guinea pig. Did you know the size of a mole?
I think sometimes they are smaller. I think usually in television and on movies they're portrayed bigger, but I think they are usually pretty small. I think I saw one once or twice and I was actually surprised that they were this tiny.
Well, let me tell you, I've had guinea pigs, and if you'd find any mole that's bigger than my guinea pigs, then you'd be lucky. But no, I don't know how big a mole
I'd also
really
be
is.
terrified as well.
Yeah, but his
Let me check.
also his father was also voiced by Nick Cage, right? That was the same voice.
Yeah. Just because they thought we've got no other person that we've blackmailed that we can like fucking make be in this piece of shit, so it's gonna have to be Nick Cage as well. What like, and the like this film I found was like it's very dated as well, like the kind of Black-Eyed Peas.
Oh yeah,
They only had this one song and they played it 5 times, and then at the very end when they had the musical number, I expected them to play that song again, but they didn't until the movie was completely over.
Yeah, what is that? I've Got a Feeling, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
all I can hear is that.
And then the boom boom.
Dang.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, fucking. I wouldn't have been surprised if like they had a cameo in this film. Like,
Yeah.
it wouldn't have surprised me if at one point it's like, I don't know. Hey, it's the Black-Eyed Peas. Like, I fucking hated this. It's just. I don't know. It's insulting to children, I think, like because it's got nothing really. It treats them like morons. As I said, like,
Yeah.
That's true. I just looked it up. A European mole is like 13 centimeters in length and weighs like 88 grams. Which is basically nothing.
oh, so they're fucking tiny. Oh, they're kind of cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like back to the point of like animation for kids. Like I recently saw Isle of Dogs. I'm not sure if you guys have seen that yet.
No,
I
we
don't
didn't
think
have the
it's
chance yet.
out here yet, yeah, but I've heard of it, yeah.
I saw that, and that just like seems to have like a wide appeal, like, and it doesn't talk down. And as I said, like a lot of Pixar films, they don't seem to talk down to kids. They just like present their story, and like Inside Out, if you've ever seen that, like tackles some really clever, complex issues and like emotions that adolescents will have, but has stuff that is yet like, I don't know, for kids, but like the exact same stuff is for the adults. There's no separation. I think that's what I was trying to get at earlier. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good point. There's a video series on YouTube where like one guy explains, like a neuroscientist explains a concept in like 4 or 5 different difficulty stages, right? He explains something to a 5-year-old, then to a teenager, then to an adult who is like interested in the topic, then to a student, and then to something to like his peer. And it's pretty interesting to see because those guys typically don't try to explain it to the kids as if the kids were like stupid or like mentally handicapped, but just they aren't very knowledgeable, so you have to explain it in easy terms because those are the terms that they know, which is what we see in Pixar films. They are very, very complex topics explained in very simple terms. And this is just you just shove a clown guinea pig in somebody's face. Just look at it, it's cute, and that's the film.
Yeah, everything in this is kind of like black and white, as in like what it's either for the adults, for the kids. There's no grey area apart from a couple of fart gags, which are for everyone because farts are funny. But yeah, like other.
And also, what was up with the? Yeah, sorry, go on.
No, what was up with what?
With the saber guy, like I didn't get it at all. Like first of like his motivation at the start, we discussed that, but then later on we find out that he's not truly behind it all, right? Yeah. So then it turns out he's actually a good guy. But
yeah, because he was talking with Mr. Yusung, is it, or like Mr. It's Mr. Yusung or something, which is
the Mandarin
like
term
the
for
Mandarin.
Yeah.
For mole, which like I think like that they were definitely patting themselves on the back. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could tell the script writers were like, "Oh fucking, like we got this." Like imagine in China, that would have like been the film over with. Then he's the bad guy. It's Speckles. We've got him. That's why he's not That's why he's not doing the video chat. He's only doing audio.
Yeah, but like I don't know if you're like this. The saber. He's the whole time he's just like doing his evil shtick, right? It's not like that he.
Yeah, he's super shady.
He looks shady all the time. And why does any normal good businessman talk with a guy over video chat who has clearly a changed voice? Like that's not a real voice. That's modified.
Yeah, why do the countdown if after like 45 hours you just press the button?
Yeah.
And why as well, like for someone who is inherently he's a good guy, he's like supposed to be doing like good practices, does he not notice, or someone in his company, obviously he's probably hiring a lot of people, he's doing quality control and stuff like that, that all of his appliances can be weaponized at like the touch of a button or just by looking inside and trying to remove a microchip, which
and who just manipulated those things, right? Did one mole do every single kitchen appliance that the factory manufactured?
Yeah, I think the idea is that it's just the chip, that it's all happening throughout the chip. There needs no weapons.
So you tell me that every ordinary coffee machine can just turn into a giant deadly laser machine through a chip?
Yeah, of course.
And then also
reasonable.
all of them can combine together in some kind of Transformer-esque, grotesque, like was it like a
more like the Power Rangers,
like,
when they all come together,
like a toaster for an arm shooting, like I don't know what the toaster was supposed to be shooting. It looked like the wiring inside, that kind of like the heated wire inside of a toaster. It was shooting out like that type of stuff. It's very bizarre. Like just that whole, I don't know, the whole like sequence in the appliance store when they're trying to get to Saber's like house, like and that showdown with that robot was just, I don't know, I didn't fucking care by that point.
Also that trap wire that they had put down there, that's also really ineffective, right? Like you basically blow up your whole building just because someone walks down there. Like it's not like it's ringing an alarm or something. It's just exploding.
Well, and it's a thing as well, like for a kids film, like you would have thought normally, like in kids films, they teach you other ways to like, I don't know, use your smarts and stuff like that. In this, it literally says blow it the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like there's no using, I don't know, using like, no, they haven't. It's not like they've got individual skills that they can play upon apart from like. One of them is clearly a black man, one of them is clearly a Spanish woman, and one of them is clearly a guy who needed the money in Sam Rockwell. Like I just don't get it. Like there was nothing in it. Like that really, like, I didn't care about the individual characters. I didn't care about like the set piece of Blaster like driving a like remote control car and stuff like that. And I don't know, can we have a little chat about those two kids who
The kid, especially the boy, they try to do what they did in Toy Story with, I think the name is Sid, this little kid that's torturing toys. But in that case, he gets off pretty badly in Toy Story, right? He's like suddenly attacked by all these moving toys that he didn't know lived. And he was basically just playing with toys. He didn't know they were alive. Here we have
and
this
obviously
kid
like they've referenced
who has
the fact that like if you're an arsehole as a child, like, because I'm not sure if you've seen, like, I think it's in Toy Story 3, you can see there is like an Easter egg of him as a garbage truck man. So obviously his life has turned out so badly that he's like, where Andy's going to college to better his life, Sid is just putting garbage in a truck for the rest of his life.
Yeah, and
so like that's a moral lesson for kids.
Yeah, and in this movie, that kid doesn't really lose anything. Well, maybe he loses a toy car and a hamster, a guinea pig, but like he is never getting any comeuppance for being like a real asshole.
And that scene in the pet shop.
Yeah, in the pet
come
shop.
on, that doesn't make any sense. He like takes the who does it take out, like the John Favreau guinea pig, right? And he picks him up and he puts him into his
lacrosse?
Yeah, exactly, lacrosse racket. And then the guy just leaves, right? The guy who's in charge of like caring for the pets. He just leaves, goes away, and he did. I could throw this guinea pig into the snake confinement thing there, cage. I don't know what it's called. I just fling it in there, and then of course, and a typical guinea pig would have just died during flight because it just got a heart attack or something. And he lands there, and then of course he's not in the snake pit really, because that would be pretty harsh for a kids film. I mean, guinea pig flying into a snake's pit, bam, dead. Yeah, that's it. That's life. Deal with it. But then he just gets to pick up another one. And the guy who cares for the pets comes back and says, "Oh, what happened to the other one? I don't know." And that's it.
Yeah.
Like,
and,
what?
And then he goes to the snake cage and says, "Oh, there you are!" Like as if that hamster ran there by himself.
One thing I found very interesting about the guy who worked in like the pet shop was like he had hand tattoos, which like I found it very bizarre. Like I just couldn't. Once I noticed them, I couldn't stop looking at them, and I was like,
"Oh, did he?
Why does this guy who works in a pet shop have like is he like supposed to be?" I started thinking about like his backstory. Like, was he a delinquent child? Got jumped into a gang because he had a number 3 tattooed on his finger. Like, were they called the number 3s? And like he'd done some
maybe he was in prison and this is his like resocialization.
That's what I was
program.
thinking. Rehabilitation. He has now found a love for guinea pigs, reptiles, and other animals they sell in pet shops, and that's what he does with his life. But again,
that's pretty great though. That's a great story.
Yeah, but
maybe we should make a movie about this.
But then again, that guy clearly doesn't care about animals though. Like, there's like
no, he cares about the animals, right? When that one guy picks up the guinea pig like head over, and then he says, no, you gotta like don't.
Yeah, probably because he doesn't want to clean up the puke. But in the end, like there's at least 2 guinea pigs going missing, and he doesn't even care about it. Like the Sam Rockwell and the John Favreau character, they are in there overnight. Then the next day they aren't there anymore, and he doesn't care at all.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. Yeah, so the whole thing of like me worrying about his hand tattoos is another point of like the film not being engaging enough to like keep, do you know what I mean, the attention of the audience. Like, I don't know, like it's a very weird mishmash of films though, isn't it? Like, 'cause it's kind of like supposed to be like Mission Impossible for kids, but then has like an element of like is it The Greatest Journey or The Longest Journey or Homeward Bound, like that kind of thing with them trying to get from the pet shop, and like just reminded me of other better films. Like The Pet Shop just reminded me of Finding Nemo. I'm not sure if like that moment in like the dentist office. I don't know. I think if you're reminding the audience of great, especially if you're invoking Pixar in an animated film, you're doing something wrong, because people would rather be watching that than watching the piece of shit
That's
you
true.
presented.
Also, one thing there that annoyed me was the motivation of the mole to join the spy agency. Why was he even part of it?
Well, he was raised there, I think.
But there's a very weird bit at the end as well. Like, it seemed like the last 5 minutes were very much like, please, like saying to like the people at the studio, please give us a sequel, please give us a sequel, because like he kind of has a line when he's taking the microchips out, going, "Oh, maybe I can join the team again if they'll have me," and just like, obviously John Favreau's character Hurley like would now be a part of the team and stuff like that, and I don't know,
Also, the hamster, the Steve Buscemi character, would also be part of the team, of course.
Yeah. Like, mate, I don't know what his role would. Like, again, there's not really. Nobody had. None of the guinea pigs did they have like unique skills to offer? Like,
I don't think so. I think
the only one who was clearly defined.
I think the fun was just that he got them somewhere and just decided, hey, I'm gonna turn you into super spies. I don't know. It doesn't really make any sense. Also,
no, I don't.
I wanted to ask you, because Michael didn't know when I asked him during the movie. Do you have any idea why the guinea pigs even end up at the pet shop? Because so this whole place is, they have to evacuate, I guess, because else they would be persecuted by the FBI. I don't know, but then
guinea pigs persecuted by the FBI.
yeah, but then so they leave through this tube system, and then suddenly they end up in a pet shop, and they don't
jump
even know
on that truck, right?
Yeah.
And
what's that truck?
Last second, the fly gets on the truck, and then suddenly they're in the pet shop. Or do we miss something?
Is there a pet shop waiting outside this door in special circle? Do you have any idea why that happens?
Shop truck.
No, I genuinely can't remember. Like, again, no, I have no idea. I genuinely, like, I remember. I think I felt like I blinked. And I was like, right, they were at this warehouse. Now they're at a pet shop, and I was like, I'm just like you guys. I'm confused. I'm baffled. I'm amazed of how this film got made.
Yeah. They didn't put any thought into it. They just said, oh, no one will care. It's a kids movie. And so they just end up at the pet store because that makes sense. Also that the others didn't even know where to look. And it's...
like, the middle of this film is so, like, baggy and, like, boring. Like, the whole journey of them, like, I don't know, like, there could have been something fun about, like, Darwin and Hurley's journey, like, back from the pet shop and stuff like that, but like it just seems like they have the run in with the coffee machine, and then that's it. That they're back. Like, they're guinea pigs. That could have been a film in itself. Is them trying to get back? It must have took fucking ages.
Did they even know where to look for the others?
Yeah, because there is a reference as well where Hurley says like, you like when he realizes he is special. He's like, you read the stars like a map, and I was like, no, you didn't. Like we never saw that. Like it made it seem like it was all in one day. Like literally 5 minutes ago, you were on the street on a skateboard, and then 5 minutes later, you're at Zach Galifianakis' house, like chilling with the rest of the guinea pigs. Like, I don't know. Like it's insulting children. It's insulting adults. They're insulting themselves.
I describe this film kind of as a series of unfortunate events, like a whole series.
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, is there any other points on the film that you would like to discuss? Is there anything like you guys felt that was glaringly hideous?
I think we talked about it all. I don't have anything else in here.
Well, there aren't many redeeming qualities, right? It didn't look that bad.
No,
It's kind of nice for kids who don't really care about story or coherence or.
Do you know what would be like if you had the chance? Like, because obviously cinema tickets are like rising and stuff like that. Like, if kids really, really are interested in guinea pigs and like animals, take them to like some kind of like animal like park or something like that, or like take them to a pet shop, like, because that would be far more enjoyable. Like, my memories of going to pet shops when I was a kid were far more enjoyable than my memories of watching this film. I would rather go to a pet shop than watch this film again. I would rather be in a snake pit than watch this film
but
again.
maybe if you're interested in buying a guinea pig or something, or a pet, doesn't matter what kind of pet, maybe look for adoption first before you go to a pet shop. Like, that's a bit of a pet peeve of mine. Don't go to a pet shop if you can adopt, right? There's so many pets that are gifted or given as a present at Easter, for example. Don't buy a bunny for Easter. A lot of people do that, and they all end up, like 2 or 3 weeks later, they all end up somewhere, like, I don't know the official term for this, but where you can adopt pets that have been previously owned by other people.
Yeah, definitely. But like, I don't mean like I didn't go to pet shops when I was a kid and like frivolously buy animals.
No, that was. I totally got that. That was just.
I wasn't like a child.
Note.
This was just
a child Ace Ventura. Like, I wasn't like living amongst millions, like hundreds of animals.
What Michael did was give this podcast a positive message, other than this movie, which has no message at all.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like that is, if you're going to take anything away from this film, it is adopt rather than buy pets, and don't watch this film, right? Would you recommend this film to anyone?
Well, Josh recommends any film that we've ever seen.
I recommend everything, but I wouldn't recommend this, to be honest. No.
Good. Would you watch this again?
Of course, right away. I actually we lent it, so I can watch it as often as I want for the next 48 hours, I think. So I think I'm gonna throw it on right after we're done here.
Yeah, I can watch it at least like 25 times again.
Yeah.
Right? So
amazing. Well,
let's start that marathon.
I own this on DVD, so this is in.
That's part of your thing, right? You have to own them all on DVD, or at least.
Well,
how do you do it with the podcast?
I try to when I can. Obviously, there are ones that are earlier on, as I think I've discussed on the podcast before. Some of them are impossible to get physical copies of because of, or like if there is a physical copy, they're just so expensive. Like, some of them have drifted into cult status, or like where like they haven't been printed on Blu-ray, but the DVD prints are so rare. Like, I think his first ever film, Valley Girl, like goes for like £20, so like the like €25, like
okay, yeah, that's crazy.
Just for one film. And like, but like, yeah, where I can, I think up until the end of this podcast now, I have everyone on DVD. So
okay.
So you go in chronological order, right?
I'm going chronologically. Yes. I love that you did your research, Michael, and actually knew what I was doing. Yeah. Chronological. Until I think I can announce that Nicolas Cage will be over by the end of October. So I don't know. Yeah, we've got like, what's that? 5 months left or something like that.
Till October, yeah. That's 6 months, I think, till October, till the end of October.
Yeah, 6 months. Yeah, 6 months left.
So your next one is gonna be. Am I allowed to spoil this, or is this a secret?
The next actor I'm doing, or the next film?
Next film on your list.
The next film on my list is. Do you have it there?
I think it's Bad Lieutenant, Port of Call, New Orleans.
Yes, which I am very looking forward to. And whilst talking about pets and pet shops, I'll say it now, it may not come into fruition, but I'm trying to rent an iguana to be present for at least half an hour during the day of recording that podcast, so we can interview the handler and talk about the representation of lizards and their use in films. So that is something for the listeners to look forward to.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting.
Well, I'm pretty sure that will be a better guest than the guy you had when you discussed adaptation.
Yeah, that guy will not be invited back on the podcast. He has since called me. There've been nothing but like threatening phone calls or like breathing down the phone very aggressively. But yeah, you rest assured, Perry will not be invited back on the Caged In podcast.
Yeah, maybe give him Trump's phone number. I think they'd be great friends.
Definitely so. So guys, where can people... actually, we haven't done my favourite little thing to do, and that is to have a little look on the internet and see if their scores match up with our review of this film. So Google has given me 3 scores, and they are... IMDb gave this film, do you guys know, or do you guys care to guess?
No surprises.
5.1 out of 10.
That's actually pretty high.
That's like an average film, right? 5 out of 10 is the average rating.
Yeah. But Metacritic is 41%, so getting closer to how we feel about the film. And our little good old friends at Rotten Tomatoes, this has got a 22% score. So where it should be, I reckon.
Okay. We've got, do you know our favorite movie website, a movie platform? Because we use...
No, what?
We use Letterboxd, which is this great community. And there you also got ratings. And GeForce has this fantastic rating. Alright, they got this 5-star system,
but with half stars also in there, so you can rate from a half to 5 with half steps.
Yeah, maybe take a guess. What would you say GeForce has on Letterboxd? I remember those are like the community there are a bit more well versed in things movie.
I would say 1 star.
Oh wow, you're actually way too optimistic. It's 1.9. But that's still pretty low. That's the equivalent of 3.8 on IMDb.
Wow.
So I guess it's more fair than the IMDb rating.
Definitely. This is a piece of shit and deserves to be that low.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, where can people catch up with you guys and your podcast? Like, shout about it, guys. I want to know.
Oh, do we have to scream? Shout. Let it all out. Okay, you can find us, Film Haus Podcast. .podium.co. This is our website.
I think just Film Haus, not podcast. Filmhaus.podium.co.
Then it's like that. Yeah, we should have prepared for this. You can also find us on iTunes. You can find us on Stitcher, your podcast grabber of your choice. And if you want to contact us, for example, we have a thing called The Movie with a By Week, where we discuss kind of like your podcast, where we discuss a movie that we announced 2 weeks beforehand. Next week we discuss Psycho. If you want to let us know what you think about Psycho, write us filmhauspodcast@gmail.com or on Twitter @filmhauspodcast or on Instagram @filmhaus_podcast. And that's it.
Yeah, exactly. Also, if you're looking for us on your podcrabber, we're Das Film Haus. There's also another Film Haus podcast. That's not us. We're the German ones.
The imposters.
Yeah.
We were first.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Yes.
Fuck those guys.
Honestly, yeah.
Well, I know all about being one of many podcasts that tackles in the same thing, because I am one of many Nicolas Cage-based podcasts. But I do not let that...
But you're the best.
I don't let that deter me, though, because... this is not what I'm going to do forever. I already have plans for where this podcast is going to go after the Nick Cage thing has been swept under the carpet, where it may well deserve to be.
Can you give us a little tease, like give us a hint? What can we look forward to?
Well, I can possibly talk to you guys about it off the record. But whilst we're on the record,
Okay.
Which can't announce.
I've been Petros Patsilivus.
I'm Josh, and
I'm Michael.
from Film Haus Podcast.
We've been caged in.
This has been fun.
You've been subjected to some brilliant actors in a terrible film about guinea pigs, and Zach Galifianakis definitely would have put one or maybe all three up his rectum. And until next time, stay caged in, stay naughty. I love you. Goodbye.
Bye.
How was that for you guys? Did you have fun? Did you work out the anagrams? Again, to reiterate them, just in case you have forgotten over the duration of this episode, they were Mr. K. Coleslaw. And the answer for that one is Sam Rockwell. Taller Twin was the second one, and that is, of course, Will Arnett. And Mangy Carrot. Oh, you're thinking, what could Mangy Carrot be? Well, I'm bloody going to tell you, it is Tracy Morgan. Bloody course it was. And then the final one, I see MTV Ice Cubes, was the great Steve Buscemi. So there's your anagram, Phil, and there's your Phil for this week of Caged In. Catch you back next week when I will be talking about Bad Lieutenant. There probably won't be a lizard involved. I vaguely remember mentioning that in the episode. That probably won't happen, but it should be a good old time. I already have confirmed that Bob will be back to discuss this film. He is a massive Werner Herzog fan. I am a passing fan. I have not seen Bad Lieutenant, but I am looking forward to it. So, see you back next week. Have a lovely time, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.